you had to pay him, I believe, hundreds of dollars
in the hundreds,
to be able to get the mod to work.
Wow.
Mate, did you hear about the big workshop purge that just happened?
To be honest, I'm quite kind of out of the loop, just given, how 2020's been and work and everything.
So Dwarden, who is the guy at BI that takes care of this sort of stuff. I actually reached out to him, and he said it was nothing special, just the usual cleanup of stolen IP, intellectual property, breach stream workshop terms of service, or Armour 3 DayZ end user license agreements. He said it was usually it's IP content taken without written approval from the IP owner, e.g. us, other game developers, community makers, etc., or attempts to sell the content, e.g. the mod is non-functional in some way until paid. There was actually a couple of mods in particular. There was one by a guy called Nightwolf that was a chopper-based one that you had to pay him, I believe, hundreds of dollars
in the hundreds,
to be able to get the mod to work.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that kind of rolls back to the whole. This is why I'm so on the fence, because I do believe modders should get paid for their work, right? But at the same time, like, you got choppers working, you want me to pay you the game's not even $100. Like, what the fuck, bro? On top of the fact that, like, from what it sounds like, he's using, intellectual property that's not even his, and he's trying to make money off it as well. So, like, I'm not legal savvy on a lot of this stuff. My main focus is just, designing cool stuff for people to experience in games right now. So, I don't know the ins and outs of the logistics behind, whatever legal's doing, but that just the fact that he's trying to charge $100 for it seems pretty scuzzy, man.
But people paid it. There were this was to servers, not to actual players. But yeah, there were servers out there that were prepared to pay the money to get this mod for their server.
So is it the server paying $100 and then like?
Yes.
Yeah, the mod was $200. Apparently, is what it was. It was $200.
$200 and like
that a server owner would have to pay, and then anybody who joined that server was able to use these helicopters. Then.
Oh, see, then you're just creating a market where, like, obviously to gain access to that server, you're going to have to pay, right, to recoup that money you've invested? Or were they?
The servers you could
I was just wondering.
freely. You didn't have to pay the servers or anything like that, but I'm guessing they all met it back in, donations and stuff like that.
Probably, yeah.
So, yeah, but the thing is, even though they were paid helicopters and stuff, they actually, I know it was all legal, but I've flown them a few times. They did run very, very well because they were server side. So they did fly very well and all that. So it was a good. You weren't getting something that was rubbish, but he was stealing it, so it was kind of crappy.
Plus, it's against the terms of service to sell.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I
did clarify with him that. And this is where it starts to get funny, Lou, and I'm hoping with your background you may be able to elaborate on this. But so it's okay for me to approach, say, Inclement Dab, he's in chat, and pay him to create a mod specifically for me. But the modder can't create a mod and sell it to multiple people.
Right.
And that's where I kind of think it's okay. So...
Well,
it's okay in one way to pay for it, but it's not okay in another.
This is how I look at it, right? Like, I'm hiring you to do something for me, right? So say, like, I didn't know how to set up a server for DayZ. So I hit you up and I'm like, hey, if I shoot you X amount of money, can you set the server up for me? And it's kind of the same thing with the mod of like, hey, this is what I want. I don't have that skill set. Can I pay you to build this for me? But then if I'm trying to go out there and sell that myself, right? Like, you're approaching me. I'm not putting this on a market and selling it to a bunch of people. So I don't, like, again, I don't know a bunch of this legal stuff, but just from the way I would think about it, it seems justified to me, because it's like, how are you going to really police, someone going to someone else and be like, I need you to build this for me and I'm willing to pay you for your time, versus someone on their own trying to, put it out in the market and charge people for it.
Mm.
So I think that's that's the way I look at it anyways. And like I said, it's when it comes to making money off modding work, I definitely think that, modders should be able to, I've put X amount of time in here. I would like to get paid for that. But you're also, not starting from scratch. So if you were to mod something and then ask money for it, in my mind, it would only be fair for the company to also in return get a cut of that, because you're working with stuff they've built
Yeah.
for you to work with.
Yep.
It's like, if I want to do woodworking, got to go buy a freaking saw and everything. So either you got to, pay an entry fee to be able to do that and then sell it, or they get a profit of what you make. But again, that's up to the company as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're basically paying for the modder's time and not their product at the end of the day. When you're asking somebody to do it, like when he was selling those helicopters, you were paying for the product and not his time necessarily.
See, I don't know how they legally justify it, but the way I wrap my head around it is, someone came to me and was like, I need you to do X for me and I'll pay you for it, versus me taking someone's content, doing whatever I do to it, putting it on a market, and then expecting people to pay without any kind of, contract with the people whose work I'm using and building off of. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does. But it was definitely an interesting time. There was, quite a few servers that had, and it wasn't just Nightwolf. There was a number of mods. They were talking about it in the modding Discord. A number of mods that got hit with the ban hammer. And I'm unsure if anyone got permanently banned from the Steam store, but I know that threat was out there. So, yeah, bit of a cleanup, long overdue. So, yeah.